Hi, and welcome to a video on STC ISP. Now, many of you know that I have written a blog or a tutorial post on STC 8051 a few years back, and by that post I have made it popular among many non-Chinese speaking users. But the issue with the STC microcontrollers are not just the language, it's also about the tool. So STC have been using a very simple interface for transferring codes to their microcontrollers, and this app is called the STC ISP, but now it has been renamed to AIAPP-ISP, and the current version is 6.96C as of 25th of September 2025. Everything is same, the usual interface as one would expect. There is no significant change except for one part, this AICube feature. Now, this AICube feature, as its name suggests, is similar to the STM32Cube functionality that we usually find with STM8 microcontrollers. And that was one good initiative by ST microcontrollers, STM microcontrollers. So that was a very good initiative by them, and many other manufacturers follows the same footsteps, but none of them have been so much successful as the ST Microelectronics one. I mean, the CubeMX is very successful among users, and there has never been so far, in my knowledge, something similar to that. Everyone tried their best to make something similar, but they are not as good as ST Microelectronics. But still, whatever the tools the other vendors like Novoton and this STC, whatever they are providing, these tools are also equally great in some aspects, if not all. And the design philosophy of different manufacturers is, of course, different from one another. So without much delay, let's get to the show. So when I wrote this blog on 2021, I mentioned something like STC was then lacking something like a board support package or BSP. Their competitor like Novoton, they had their BSPs, which helped us to get familiarized with the microcontrollers without much reading the datasheet and reference manuals, and that was very helpful for the time being with Novoton, because we don't have to set the registers. And to me, the biggest pain when exploring any new microcontroller is setting the registers and understanding how they work. So a lot of reading and a lot of trial and error is needed if things are done in register level. So back then, when I started working with the STC 8A8K64S for A12 microcontroller, it's a very good microcontroller. In fact, it's a very powerful microcontroller from the 8051 series. The 8051 is a proven architecture, so I wanted something similar to the BSP that Novoton was providing, and so I worked hard and found a way, and then created my own BSP like this one. In my blog post you can see what I did, and for each and every hardware I had these macros defined so that I don't have to go through the registers all the times when I am making a code. Yes, it's true that the STC ISP comes with built-in demo code example setup. So yes, you can copy these codes and use them, but see, the main issue is that they are still using register level coding, which is sometimes painful to understand. So there was my initiative. I worked around and have them coded in such a way that I don't have to remember each and every register, each and every bits. Whatever I needed, I had them defined and used them in my code efficiently. For example, let's see timer code. So the timer is configured very easily. The timer setup, it easily shows what I have done with that timer. So timer 1 here is configured as a 16-bit auto reload timer, non-auto reload timer, my correction, and timer 1 external T1 pin 35 clock has been used. The prescaler has been set to 12T and it's in gate mode, and the pin 3-4 has been used as clock out. So it's very easy to understand what I have done with this timer, and anyone without any knowledge prior to working with this microcontroller can easily have it configured in just a few seconds. So I believe STC took that idea to some level and made this AICube, and you will see in a few seconds that how it's similar. So the only disappointment I have with this app at the moment is it's still in Chinese, and everything is in Chinese, which is not the language I prefer to use, my preferred language. And of course, anyone from the international arena would love to see this app in English, because we don't understand Chinese a lot, especially the Chinese language characters and pronunciations and other things. We don't understand them well. So that's the only complaint I have about this app, and hopefully STC manufacturers, they understand this and they soon change this thing, because they have also had this app in Chinese Chinese too, the STC ISP or AIAPP-ISP in Chinese, but now they also have the Chinese and the English version. So we have the liberty to change language as per our requirement. So I expect that they will listen, and they will also adapt the same strategy for the AICube, which is this software. So after much trial and error, I found out that the best way to do it is to click the icons one by one and see what they have. So probably this is the setup page or the project setup tab, whatever it is. So here we can select which microcontroller we are using. There isn't a lot of microcontrollers here at the moment, but yes, there are some powerful microcontrollers like this one, the SC32G12K128. This is the microcontroller I'm going to use in a few months, and the others are somewhat popular, but I don't think as popular as the STC 8A 8K series. And also this STC 89C52RC is also very popular, so we can give it a shot with this microcontroller. Let's give a project name. Let's say it's a test project, and I have already set the location. It's a folder location. It can be anywhere in your PC. I don't know what this and this does, but probably this is suggesting that if it's a single project or a batch of projects. So I leave it as it is. So let's proceed. So after having it enabled or set up, the interface changes like this, and so this gives a basic info about the project. So right now nothing can be changed because we haven't enabled anything. So let's start with the clock. So here we have the option to use which clock source or which divider are we using. So for the moment, since it's still in Chinese, I suggest that you use Google Translate or something like that. In that way it might be a bit of luck for a new user. So this tells me it's the clock frequency or the crystal frequency. So I have set here 12 megahertz and this changes to 12 megahertz. Okay, very simple. Then we have the IAAPP or EEPROM. So nothing fancy about that. Also, let's configure interrupt. Probably this is suggesting it's a falling or a rising interrupt, or there are also other options. I don't know what they are, but probably they mean something. So oh yeah, this setups the priority. See, whatever we change here also gets reflected in the code. So this one is the edge selection or level selection, and this one is the priority selection. So this is the code that will be generated in our project. Now let's see what a timer does. So here the timer is also configured in a similar mode. We can select the modes. So the interesting thing is, if you have read my blog from 2021, you will see that STC has adopted some of my suggestions, and they have done a good job with graphical interface in a Windows environment. I really appreciate it. So now life has become much more easier with the STC microcontrollers than it used to be in the past. So in this project we have right now configured the clock, interrupt pin 0 and timer 0. So if I press this play button, the project is exported and Kale automatically opens. So now we can see our main file. So this is the main file, and as you can see, all the necessary functions that we have configured in the Cube AI have been reflected in our main code. But there are certain other things that need to be done. For example, we have to change some options, like we have to let the Kale compiler know it's a 89C52R series microcontroller, and we have to set the correct clock frequency, and if we need hex file, then also we have to set this option and nothing else. So if we now compile and build, so there are 6 warnings. Okay, I know why these warnings are coming, so let me correct them. Oh, it's already there. Okay, it's saying that capture mode missing function. Which part? This part. Okay, let's see what we have. So these are the definitions, these are the configuration files, and oh yeah, so these are the configuration files that are used in the main code. So probably I think it's missing somewhere. Which part? Timer 0 capture. So if we go to timer 0, No, there is no such function as timer capture. So definitely this is an error. Just one thing I forgot to mention, that this AICube is still in development, and so we have to wait for more iterations for it to successfully complete. Any software development needs a lot of trial and error, and since this microcontroller series is popular in China but not in the English speaking world that much, so probably they will have some time to debug all these things. But the main thing is that it compiled without any errors, and although there are 6 warnings, I think the code is okay to run. So I believe that in future STC will definitely add more microcontrollers and add more features to their AICube app, so that it becomes much more user friendly, especially when it comes to the language part. And probably they will also add more microcontroller families, because they have a huge portfolio of microcontrollers varying in various functions. So I expect that they slowly will add these microcontrollers, and also they will take care of these silly bugs like this. I believe that they will be resolved in future. And also again about the language, if the language was correct, then these would have been something readable, but now they are just garbage characters. So I wish and hope that STC gets my message and they correct these things, so that their microcontroller families get much more limelight than the other competitors. So thank you for this video. I hope you enjoyed, and if you have enjoyed, please give a like and subscribe. It really helps me to boost my channel. Thank you.